All right, so you guys, I feel like I have a lot to talk about makeup-wise. I don't really know how organized I'm gonna be, but I thought I would do like a little get ready with me while I talk about my makeup stuff, because that's just what I felt like doing today. So I just worked out and took a shower, and I'm actually doing my makeup for the second time today. Oh, let me close this. This is distracting. This one too. So I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. I have been doing like a lot of like almost like makeup research. Now, when it comes to my kit and makeup that I'm using on other people, I don't mess around a whole lot with that, because once I've found something that works, I kind of just stick to it. I know it performs well. I know it doesn't break people out. It like does what I need it to do. But when it comes to myself, I'm always mixing stuff up and trying new things, because it's just so fun. There's so many products to try, and it keeps things kind of interesting. Anyway, so I thought I would like talk about some stuff that I've gotten recently and put it on my face. First thing I want to say though, this is totally a non sequitur, but I think I'm the only person on the planet or on YouTube world that does not love this foundation. I find it really oxidizes on me. And I don't know if that's because I just like went for a walk with it, and maybe I got a lot of light, and maybe I was sweating. I wasn't even really sweating very much. I don't know, what am I doing wrong? It was like oxidized. It felt like kind of pink. I was like, not really into this one. So I might give it to a friend. I've only used it like twice, but like I'm not super impressed, and I feel like I'm supposed to be. Does that ever happen to you? Like everybody seems to love it, and then you use it and you're like, I don't really get it. However, I will say I was like that with Shape Tape for a really long time. I was like, it's really dry and cakey. Turned out I just needed to figure out like how to use it and make it work. And now that I have it, I think it's amazing. I don't want to mix like two different foundations. I'm going to use something that I really know I love, and that is two MAC foundations. One is the MAC Face and Body. I have about 6 of these in my kit in different colors. And then the other one is going to be the Prolongwear. I think I'm actually going to mix NW25. I have 25 and I have 22. This 22 is a little bit peachy on me. 25 is a little bit too deep. NW20 with a dot of 25 is like my perfect shade. But I used up NW20 and I haven't repurchased it. I'm like gonna use this NW25 because it's summer, and I'm like totally okay with going a little bit darker, even if my skin doesn't get that much darker. And it's an NW, so it's got a warmer undertone. As you can see, I don't know if you can see it, it's a little bit warmer. I do love this foundation, and I have for several years now. This one is a little too warm and a little too dark, so I'm gonna add a little bit of MAC Face and Body, which is a little more, it's a water-based foundation, but it's got excellent staying power, and this is in the color C1. And I find that these two formulas, they just pair really nicely. So I've got a little bit on each foundation on the back of my hand, which is what I always use for my own kind of like mixing palette. And I'm gonna blend these up, and that's gonna be plenty of foundation for my face. And I like these foundations because I don't find that they oxidize too much on me. I find a lot of foundations will oxidize a little bit, but I hate when I do my makeup and then a few hours later I see my cheek and it's like pinkish or like orange, and you're like, ooh, that's weird. And that is just oxidation, and some foundations will oxidize more than others and faster than others, and maybe on somebody else it wouldn't oxidize, but I just really don't like that. And that's what I found with the Fresh Wear. It really oxidized on me, so I was like, not loving it, you know? So I might just stick with what I know and love. It's a drugstore foundation, so you gotta hand it to them. Like, it's awesome that they're bringing all these other foundations and formulas out at the drugstore, but I don't know. I'll tell you another L'Oreal one that I do love. This one, I use this with like a setting spray, another L'Oreal setting spray, which I will talk about in a minute. My boss literally asked me if I had had my face done, which was such a compliment. I was like, no, thank you. Because it just made my skin so glowy, and it's like light, but like really just it's good stuff. And then here's my tried and true Shape Tape, which I'm loving again. I got a bunch of them and then I was like, oh no, I don't know if I like them because I got like different colors from my kit. And then I thought that I like made a bad call, but I'm liking it again. You can see like as I swirl my wand in, like I'm hitting the sides. So we don't have much left in this particular tube, but I have like 3 backups. So I'm gonna do like the usual thing here. So what I like to do after I've done my concealer and my foundation is I like to take a dampened beauty blender, really get out all the excess water and just kind of like press it. And I find that it just makes things look a little more skin-like, and it like helps to like really meld them together. And another thing that I'll say about using foundation and concealer, I think a lot of times we think the foundation's supposed to cover everything, but I find that if I just consider the foundation something to sort of even out the skin tone, very like nominally, just even out the skin tone, and then I'll go in with concealer and I'll cover anything that I really want to go after to like really perfect. And I find that way I don't end up with too much makeup on my face, because it's really easy for the layers of makeup to add up, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, I have so much makeup on, what am I doing? Because that happens to me. I don't know if that ever happens to you, but this is like just a nice way to like even everything out, and you could always go back in and add more makeup. So if you start with a light hand, I find that like it keeps you out of trouble and like doing that makeup overload too much. I'm gonna let all this stuff kind of like set into my skin, or sit into my skin a little bit. I'm just gonna set the under eye, and that way when I do the makeup, if anything should fall down, it'll just be easier to clean away. And because I put the Shape Tape on my eyelid and now I'm powdering, that's gonna be my primer. I'm not gonna use a separate eyelid primer. I think that that's just like not necessary. So I'm gonna do something like really natural that I've been doing lately. Just for summer, like I'm finding that I don't wanna look too fussy, and like I certainly don't wanna look too made up. I mean, sometimes I do. But the other day I went to a barbecue, and all I did is I took this pencil. This is called Night Cast, and it's like one of those automatic pencils by MAC. And I'm just gonna run this along the lash line just enough so that I can like smudge it up a little bit. It's almost gonna work as like an eyeshadow base, I would say. And because it's one of those pencils that will set pretty quickly, I'm specifically using my finger to smudge it, because the warmth of my finger, I find, will smudge it a little bit better than any brush that I have. And I'll layer it a couple of times. I just want it to be like most concentrated at the lash line, and that way when I put shadow on top, it like you won't see where one starts and one ends. So now let me go in with, I'm just gonna take like an ordinary flat brush like this. So I'm gonna pick up a little bit of product. There's so many choices. I don't even have the one that I used the other day, and I don't even care, because I'm gonna use, let's see what I'm gonna use. Let's use this Mercier palette. Mercier. This is the Art Caviar color inspired edition. And it's just got like a lot of nice basics, which I think is going to be perfect for this one. And I'm going to go in with this like taupey one. I'm still not 100% sure what I think of these. They're certainly not the best shadows I've ever used, but like I'm not really looking for the best shadows. I want something that's gonna be like really easy and low maintenance. And so now I'm just gonna like smudge this right on top of that eyeshadow, and or the eyeliner rather, which was kind of like a taupey purple. And then this taupey brown, it's gonna pick up the taupiness. This reminds me a lot of MAC Satin Taupe. And it's gonna work perfectly for what I'm trying to do today. And then I'm gonna go in with a nice round brush, and I'm gonna go in with this color. We will call it, is this one ginger? Let's see, third across on the top, ginger, that makes sense. And we're just gonna like smooth out the crease here with a fluffy brush. And I like one of these round fluffy brushes because it can like get right into the crease and just kind of like smooth the transition, you'll sometimes call it, or the crease. And that's pretty much what I'm gonna do. And I'm just gonna sweep the extra underneath. So it's like super easy breezy, no big deal. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other eye. We have to do the brows or it's just gonna look weird. So I'm just gonna like comb them through. My brows totally need a lot of help. This is another one. This is another product. Bought it because like everybody told me to on YouTube, and I'm kind of a sucker like that. And I love MAC. And I didn't really use it. So you have this one side, it's like a felt tip pen. I don't know if you can see that so well. But I'm gonna kind of like scrub this gently, obviously, through my brows, and to just try to create something. It's a good color for me. I will definitely give you that. And now I'm gonna comb through. So this is like combing through the hairs, but it's also blending that product, and the little marks the spoolie makes the product look a little more like hair. And now I'm gonna go in with the other side. This is nothing new. This is the Shape and Shade Brow Tint, in case you're interested. And I'm just gonna add little flicks of hair where I need a little extra. So I'm gonna take a nice skinny brush right now, and I just wanna bump up the eyeliner, and I'm gonna go in, I think I'm gonna use this straight up black, which is called Tuxedo. Is that right? Yes, Tuxedo. And I'm gonna take a little bit of this Tuxedo. I don't want it to drop down, so I'm gonna be really careful about like tapping the brush, getting the excess off. And I'm just gonna tap gently along the upper lash line. This is so funny, I rarely use black. There we go, and you can even see it from there. Like I'm just putting a little bit extra. And the nice thing about using shadow is it like automatically is just easier to diffuse. And I'm like, sometimes less is more. Like I don't want to overdo the black. For me, I have to be very sparing with black because it can get out of control and it looks too goth. And it just makes me look a little bit like, why is she wearing so much black eyeliner? Some people can just rock the black eyeliner and it never looks weird. I think it's just because like I'm fair. Even though my hair is dark, I'm not like deep. So I think that's probably what it is. And then I'm gonna go under the lash line. So you're not gonna see it, but what you're not gonna see is gap. Like you can see this side, you can see the skin, this side you can't. Most people wouldn't like notice it outwardly, but it really, I just think it tightens everything up. And it just looks that much better. And I just kind of like close my eyes and I let the tip of the pencil do the work. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of blush. This is another product that I got a while ago and like never really used it, but now I'm really liking it. Sometimes it's weird like that. This is the NARS Liquid Blush. This is the color Orgasm, which I find it to be more pink, less peach, and less gold than the powder version that you probably already know and maybe even love already. And I'm gonna just take a brush like this and I'm just gonna like tap it on my cheeks. And I find if I rub it in, like that initial shock of like, oh my God, too much blush, it goes away pretty quick. What I might do now is go in with a little bronzer. This is a newer one that I recently got by Kevin O'Quan. They're little. I was expecting one of the big ones. I'm actually fine with this because when am I actually ever gonna go through a bronzer? Never. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this and I'm just gonna go around like, I said I wasn't gonna do contour bronzer, I'm such a liar. I'm just gonna go a little bit, like less is more, because I don't want it to be like, I just wanna look like I got a little sun. We'll bring this down the neck a little bit. Always like check your ear and your jaw, because whatever you have on your face, you're gonna wanna blend up in that direction. Oh my gosh, we need a lip. And here's another product that I got a while ago. Like, I think I got it last summer, so probably almost a year now, and then I like just never used it. And I thought I was like, oh, I'm gonna use this so much in the fall, and then I never did. This is So Vain by Tom Ford. If you buy a Tom Ford lipstick, you better freaking use it, because they're like $60. But I don't know, I was obviously treating myself that day. And I like that it's like a cooler, less like warmth in it, which makes it a little more plummy and better for fall, but we're gonna make it summer. And you know how we're gonna do that? We're gonna put some gloss on it. And now I always do my lipstick first, and then I do my liner second, my lip liner. It's not right or wrong, it's just the way I do it, because I need a little shape in my lips. And then this is MAC Staunchly Stylish. See how I just like perfect the shape after the fact? And then I'm gonna go in with MAC Oyster Girl, another product that I'm just like using up. This one I've loved. I've had more than one of these. That's how much I love it. But it's just like a really easy, quick way to make yourself feel done. Oh, one other thing I wanted to say. I'm getting up. I gotta get this. This thing I got maybe a week or two ago, probably a couple of weeks now. It is the Lumi, it's L'Oreal Shake and Glow Dew Mist. Oh my goodness, it's amazing. I was wearing this with my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow, and that's when my boss asked me if I'd had my face done. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. No, it was just like a really glowy foundation routine. Now, I'm not gonna use this one today because my cheeks are quite a buzz with this bumpy ride on it. It's pretty shimmery, that one. I like it. So instead, I'm gonna go a notch down, and this is MAC Fix Plus, and I buy the coconut scent because it smells really, really good. But I don't think I'm gonna be buying this one anymore. I'm probably gonna go with the L'Oreal one. No, actually, no, I'm always gonna buy Fix Plus. But it's just like a nice alternative. So I'm just gonna like spritz a little bit. Try not to put on your eyelashes because I find it makes them droop. Anyway, that's that. Do I have to do more mascara? No, I think we're okay right now. I'm gonna come back and I'll show you just like a little shot with like my hair done, because I don't know, wet hair and makeup, let's do it right.